Hello everyone, today it's a special video. I'm gonna be ranking all the Spring 2024 tracks. And I'm gonna be ranking them as in from minus 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 to plus plus plus. And I'm gonna rate them across different categories, including scenery, difficulty, and let's go with the track layout itself. So let's get on with map 1. I'll play once, like every track once, for you guys to see it. And yep, let's get started. I'll play it with keyboard as well, so I don't have to switch between controller and keyboard. Okay, we have track 1 here. Track 1 seems... the scenery isn't that bad. Like, probably the castle walls are the things that made it look good. So, for scenery, I might give this track, let's go a solid 6 out of 10. For the track layout, it's very simple, easy to learn, which gives it like a full score. And if we go with the difficulty, it's not as hard for beginners. It's like the author metal can be very easy. So what I might go for is a solid plus plus. Okay, moving on now to track 2. Okay, track 2 is a grass map. I'm not really expecting anything like out of it, but let's just try. The first turn is very nice, and the scenery looks good, like with the trees. They give a good green color to the track, especially with the sides being like a black color. It gives good contrast. Track layout, they kept it really simple, and for difficulty, it has some gears involved in it, so I would rate this track overall maybe another plus plus, because it can be difficult for beginners to master the gears. And the scenery looks pretty good as well, like the trees and stuff. And track layout is simple and short and sharp. Moving on to track 3. This one requires some skill with it, especially because of the slides here. There's a slide here, so oopsies. There's a slide here, so you don't. In terms of difficulty, it's very difficult. If you want to talk in terms of competition and stuff. Track layout is simple. It's just like a couple of turns. And scenery, it's nothing special really. It's only at the ending where it gets good. So I might give this track a plus. It didn't show too much of a scenery factor. That's what it lacked. But in general, it's pretty fun. It's very fantastic. Okay, track 4. Track 4 is one of those tracks that, like, requires some sort of skill, especially going on the outside line here. That is, it's a bit high skilled. And in terms of scenery, like, I wouldn't say it's as much as well. Track layout, they again kept it very basic, so I might give it a plus here. Okay, track 5, then the white playlist will be over. Okay, track 5. Firstly, I really love this down drop and the plastic sliding sort of thing. I really love that as well. In terms of scenery, this map is like pretty good. Track layout, I'll go, it's not as simple as people think. It might be a bit difficult for beginners to like master the track. So I might give this track, I'll go a minus here. The scenery was pretty good, but track layout and skill level can be difficult for beginners. Okay, now time for the green tracks. The green tracks, track 6 is pretty lovely with its turns and stuff. This turn requires some sort of skill, especially with the drift, but I won't really count that as a major skill level. The only thing, it's this. That's where people might fail. I really love that, like, grass kind of thing. And that ending with the castle gates and, like, the finishing with that line, I really love that as well. In terms of skill level, I won't really say it's pretty hard, so I might give it a plus here. Time to move on to track 7. Okay, track 7 is a wood map. It is some sort of difficult to manage with action keys if you're on keyboard. Scenery, it is good, like this part is pretty well for the map, but it's like lacking surfaces. Like just a blank wood map is the part where I say it's a bit difficult for beginners to master. Also, the ending, it's pretty slow, so I didn't really like this track in terms of that part. Skill level can be mid, so I might give it a minus here. Okay, track 8. Track 8 as well, like with the rally car, requires a good use of action keys and skill and gears. Also here, scenery is pretty good with the castles. Like, it gives it some sort of nice taste. I really love the part where there is a reactor boost. I don't tend to like this part with the rally car though. This part is pretty amazing with like reactor boost physics, and the final turn is pretty good. Scenery, let's go, pretty well managed, and skill level, I wouldn't say it's that hard. And in terms of fun and track layout, it's pretty nice. I might give it a plus here. Okay, track 9, the bobsleigh map. As you guys might know already, I'm not a big bobsleigh fan, and I tend to not be that good at it. That's why I'll try and not be biased to the ranking here. Okay, track layout. I actually don't like these two consecutive turns. And they're very annoying. This part of the map, though, as well, I like it as a idea, but it's not really a fast section. It tends to be a bit, like, slow. This part is pretty fast, which is basically the thing. Scenery, there's not a lot in there because it's basically just the ice. To be honest, I might go minus here. Track 10. Okay, track 10. It's just like last campaign where you get the two choices. It's very nice with the track idea. I really love that. And in terms of scenery, like, same thing, the castle. There is different surfaces. I really love this layout here for the turn with the reactor boost and plastic. Also, this turn is pretty nice. This part, though, that's where the scenery, like, there's not a lot of it. I would go for this track, maybe a normal plus. Okay, now the blue section. Track 11. Grass, full speed, let's go with that. This turn, though, it can be pretty hard to master for beginners for the auto medal. So, that's the only part I didn't like about this track. Also, the loops are pretty nice. This section is pretty smart as well. It can be some sort difficult, sometimes, not always. I really love the layout, it's very speedy. Also, this part here, it's nice how they added the slow motion here to give a cool effect. And the finish. For track layout, this track is awesome. And difficulty, I wouldn't say it's that hard for a player like me. It might be hard for players who just started. I'll give this track a triple plus. And I don't know why it's... Okay, it doesn't want to work with plus plus. It works with minus minus, not plus plus. It's okay. At least I said what's the rank. Okay. Track 12. To be honest, I love this track in terms of laying it out. Like, this part of the map looks lovely with the downhill. And then the slight turns here. I really loved how it's a slow and fast map as well. Like, I love the track idea of slowing down and then speeding. Also, this part I actually this part I didn't really like here. But scenery, awesome. It's excellent. Well managed with the obstacles and the big finish. Track layout is awesome as well. I would rate this, but in terms of difficulty, it can be difficult with some gears and stuff. That's a plus plus. Okay, track 13. One of my least time favorites, and I still can't get author on this. Okay. Track layout, very difficult. Especially that hairpin turn. That's the most difficult part of this track, this turn. It's very difficult. Well, I'm playing at Action Key 3 here. But And here the skill level for, what do you call it, the snow slide, and I didn't bother doing it right here, but I'll do this. That's the snow slide. This track is not really beginner friendly. It's a very harsh experience. So, and scenery doesn't really have a lot to it. So with this track, I kind of want to rate it triple minus. I didn't like scenery. The track layout is very hard to master, and it lacked that fun to it. Track 14, the ice slide track, as I remember from it, I didn't have difficulties with it. It was nice. I loved how you start with water and then the ice slide comes up. That layout made the track like really fun to do at the start. It gives you excitement. And the ice slide part of this, sorry for not having cam 1. I really loved like how you didn't need to ice slide and you just go through the water. This part, full speed ice slide, that's something I loved as well about this. In terms of scenery, this track is, I would say it's mid, but layout, it's very good for ice full speed, and that ending made it so good. I would rate track 14 a ++. As you can realize, most of these tracks are pretty nice and like short, sharp. Okay, track 15. Let's switch back to cam 2. Track 15, the only thing I didn't like about it, it doesn't give you space. It's very, very precise, especially this turn here. It's pretty annoying. Like, in terms of fun, it's very annoying when it comes down to author. All of its turns are pretty precise and, like, they don't give you a good time. It's a pretty hard track to master on this. In terms of scenery, there's not really much to say. It's just basically you're inside a castle. It's pretty plain, like the scenery repeats itself. Which, this track, I would maybe rate it a minus, honestly. Okay, that's blue done. Track 16. Okay, track 16. Track 16, I really, really, really loved the idea of reactor boost and grass. It's a pretty fun track. And it's not really hard to get author on this. Like, pretty easy. If you want to go for like competition level, it can be a very hard track, but honestly, it's pretty simple. Like, the layout, it's very user-friendly. It's not complicated, and the plastic makes the color contrast very well. I would probably give this track... Let me think. Also, the ending is pretty nice as well. I would probably give this track a triple plus, but because this doesn't want to work, so why not put it in ++. Track 17. That's where the pain starts. Track 17, if you see my time on this track, it gives me a very hard time. Track layout is very hard, it's very precise as well with the rally car. Also, there's that chicane on that track. It makes it a hard time. Like, look at these corners, they're so difficult. They don't give you a good experience with this track. It's very painful. Look at these chicanes, like, very, very annoying. The last part of the track is that part. That chicane is even worse than the other one. In terms of scenery, it's very good done. It's very well done. But difficulty, ultra hard. And in terms of fun, it gives you a lot of pain, so I'm gonna go minus for this track. Track 18 is one of my favorites. It's a techie, stylish map. I love, like, the forest scenery for this. The forest scenery makes it so interesting. Also, this turn, very techy. Most of the first section is what I loved from this track. The second section, impossible with the wood. The first section is pretty nice, as you can see, like, even this 180-degree turn. Here, with the reactor boost, absolutely awesome full speed start. Also, that long drift is something I loved as well. Okay, that was a flip. Also, this turn is pretty, like... The wood part, I really loved it, but it's just that. Just why? That's the thing. Just tell me, why is it doing that? It's very, very annoying with that hairpin. So, I'll give it a plus for this. Track 19. Oh no. Rally ice slides. Okay. Extremely difficult. That's what I can say about this track. It's insanely difficult, especially this bobsleigh part. Like, what on earth? Like, come on. Nadeo, you can do better. Like, you can put rally ice, but this is just lacking. Also, the reactor boost to make it easier for, like, the setup here. In terms of scenery, it's pretty average, like just grandstands. And difficulty, ultra hard. I might go a triple minus. Track 20. Okay. This track is also one of my favorites. I really love the woods, water kind of thing. It's so fun. You feel like you're on a water slide here. It's so fun to drive. Especially those sharp corners here. They're very, very fun to do. It's scenery, honestly, this part feels like you're going through a mountain. But in general, it's actually good. Scenery is also good as well. And the fun, it's ultra fun. Track layout is amazing as well. I might give this track also a triple plus. It is a triple plus. It's amazing. Okay, now for the final 5 tracks. Okay, that's when the pain starts. Track 21 is also a water wood kind of thing. That section where you start underwater, I love that. It's so fun to drive here. especially with reactor boost physics. Amazing. And this part also made this track is amazing in terms of track layout. Scenery is good, but difficult. It's difficult. That's what this track has to offer. Very difficult. This section is also like track 20. Very fun to drive here, especially if you're going really fast. And here, reactor boost. Amazing. Reactor boost up is also fun here. This turn, it's very amazing. Also that finish with the castle, very good. I might rate this track a solid plus. Track 22. Okay, track 22. Honestly, that's more of grass and tech mixed together. It's very, very difficult, like this part as well. It's very techy. Scenery, it looks like it's very bunched up. It looks like chaos. So, not really good for scenery. Track layout is pretty difficult. Like, I mean very difficult. And like, what is this? Like, I will probably give this track, like, current, like, what is this? What is this? Also, that turn, I don't really like. The last turn is pretty smart with the 180 turn. Okay, I would go for this track, it's a minus. Track 23. Okay, track 23, what I can say is... Track 23 is, honestly, they adapted that RPG style. Like, lots of jumps. Very good speeds here. I love how they placed the wood here to make it easier for people. But this chicane, that's where I disagree. This chicane makes it very, very hard for people, like, and now I can't even make it. Okay, that should be better. Yep. Honestly, not really for this track. I don't have much to say other than it's not as bad, but not as good. I'll probably give it a minus as well. Okay, we're left with the last two tracks, track 24 and 25. These two are the ultra hard ones. And I realized that all of those tracks are over a minute long, which that's very long, like, let's be honest. This track, I actually didn't like for these chicanes. Very difficult for beginners. Okay, I've done something wrong with the grip, so, okay. For this track, I'm not a big fan of it. It's very, very obstacle style, like, and that's the problem. pretty hard to like master. And that's here. I love the dirt section, not the ice slide, not the bobsleigh section here though. These sections here are like plastic. Okay, I just got silver. Honestly, with this track, not so much. That's like a minus. And finally, for the last track, track 25. This track. It's very painful. That's one. Scenery is okay. But the turns, wow, like so hard. It gives you a pretty bad time. Like, these chicanes and sharp turns, they just make it so, like, I wouldn't say boring, but very annoying. Like, hunting this track for a lot will be very boring. Okay, that turn I really like, this part. This turn is also not as bad. Okay. And the finish is pretty nice, but didn't really like it. Like, scenery's mid, and it's not that good. I'll probably go for triple minus. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, like, one note that this tier list was based on personal opinion, like, mostly. So please, if you disagree with something, like, don't worry, that's not an official thing. It's just an opinion. And see you in the next video.